Jacob's not here, Steve's not here, Perry's not here. I have fresh tape if you need it.
Oh, I'm good, I think. Trying to save county money. Well, are we ready?
Ready?
Call this Commissioners' meeting of June 28th to order. If you'll stand and join me in the pledge and a short prayer. Heavenly Father, we ask that you bless our county and our country. I ask that you give us guidance and direction and wisdom in making good decisions for the county that would be pleasing unto you. All these things we ask in your heavenly name. Amen. Have the commissioners had an opportunity to review the minutes of the previous meeting? And if so, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Commissioners had an opportunity to review the claims, and if so, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the claims. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Commissioners had an opportunity to review the payroll, and if so, do I have a motion?
Motion to accept.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve payroll. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. On reports, I have one for the Elwood Fire Alarm and Sprinkler System, report for the YOC building, and I have a monthly and yearly report. I think it's May's monthly for the weights and measures, and another report from the Ryan Fire Protection of the Henry Justice Center. Is there any discussion?
I'll make a motion to accept as presented.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to approve these reports. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Seeing no one from EDC and having no food and beverage claims. Angela.
Good evening. I wanted to just read a letter. I did forward this to all three commissioners prior to the meeting for my report, and I've also given you the Indiana Local Health Department Workforce Assessment, which was a study done by the IU Richard Fairbanks School of Public Health in the fall of 2022, as it relates to some of the upcoming changes with the health department with the money that we opted in. I'm just going to read this because I think it'll be more succinct and I won't forget to say something. So I'm writing in to share my history with the Job Classification Committee and thoughts moving forward. In June of 2017, as a new department head, I was given the directive by the current auditor to update my department's job descriptions. Reason for doing so, the last update was in 1999 for all except a new position, which was merged to prepare for Doug Mathis stepping down as the administrator into a position in environmental health. At this time, Doug had earned a master's degree in adult education and had been the Henry County Health Department administrator and educator for 20 years. This new position was titled Environmental Health Specialist / Health Education Director. The rationale for this change is explained in a letter from Jerry Cash, chair of the Board of Health at the time. In a letter from Wagner, Irwin, and Sheely dated October 25th of 2017, this position was recommended to stay at a PAT 3. The rate of pay that was established for this position at that time by the county council was $42,774. In the letter from the Board of Health chair, the request was actually made for $47,240, which was the amount recommended by Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy per the Board of Health Chair. At this time, I'm unable to produce a document from Wagner showing that particular figure, but I have looked. A second example, in July of 2019 then, I was approached by our part-time environmental food inspector for a $2 an hour raise. He had been working for our department for 7 years without any raise at all. He was a seasoned food inspector with nearly 30 years of experience in his field and was also a full-time food inspector for the Delaware County Health Department, making $19 an hour. In July of 2019, he was making $15.25 an hour with us, which is what he was hired in at. In the process of doing things the correct way, or as I was instructed, going through the job classification committee and then the council, which only met one time a month, this employee became disgruntled that his request was taking too long and gave me an ultimatum. The employee subsequently quit. I remember the job classification meeting regarding his situation very well. A committee member pointed out that this employee was essentially holding me hostage, and if his demands were met, it would establish a precedent that would encourage other employees to go to their department heads and demand more money, or they would just quit. The committee agreed with that assessment and also noted that financially we could not accommodate each and every request. This was a true statement then, and it's a true statement now, simply by a financial standpoint. A part-time job description also did not exist for this particular position. I was instructed by a former commissioner that we did not have part-time descriptions. We simply used the full-time position description for part-time employees in that particular role. I then was advised by Wagner that it was proper procedure to have an actual job description for every inspection, be it full-time or part-time. I then turned in the information to Wagner for a part-time food inspector. On August the 20th of 2019, their reply recommended the position as a Pat 1 with an hourly rate of $18.80 internally and an external market rate of $20.32. I brought this back to the Job Classification Committee. Their decision at the time was to assign a rate of $17.25 an hour. When I asked why not $18.80 an hour, I was told by the committee that Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy were only consultants, and ultimately the county decided what pay rates would be. The recommended figure was higher than others in our county employee ranks at a Pat 1 at the time. To me, this was proof that previous administrations did not choose to use the rates they were paying Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy to research and recommend. My last example is from 2023. In April of this year, I sent a request to Wagner in preparation for changes coming our way. I asked to combine our full-time registrar position duties with our part-time environmental health assistant duties. Wagner completed the request and gave the recommendation that the new combined position would remain a ComOt 3, same as our current registrar position, with an internal rate of $33,279 a year, which is what my current registrar makes. The external market rate for that position has a range of $34,562 to $38,402. So I bring this to your attention for the following reasons. One, what's the purpose of paying Wagner $5,500 a year to manage our job classification system and salary ranges within those classifications if they are only seen as advisory and the governing body is going to set salary ranges differently from what they recommend? In communications from Wagner, they state on their correspondence, and this is a quote, "We have assessed this position respective of other positions in the fill-in-the-blank, ComOt, PAT, etc. job category and factored the position using the factor evaluation system, job classification point factor guide charts for that particular position." As an employer, if we cannot even meet the minimum pay standards, then are we even using the correct tool to determine what our salaries should be? In essence, I feel like we're setting ourselves up to fail because we get this job classification back, we get told the expert is recommending a rate, we'll never meet that rate. And I do thank the council for working hard over the last couple of years to try and bring us up to at least the bottom level. They've worked very hard to do that, and I understand that. But we need to finish the job now and correct it. The second reason is if we would use the information that we're paying for from Wagner, Urban, and Shealy, what's the purpose of the Job Classification Committee? Theoretically, a department head should be able to communicate their needs to Wagner, be given their recommendation, and then the department head take it to the council for appropriation, as long as the department head's budget can accommodate it. And then lastly, which governing body is responsible for human resource matters such as the actual creation of or adjustment to a job description? This is just my example, but if a department head needs help with an issue such as hiring or termination, personally, I've gone first to the HR representative, and then oftentimes we bring a commissioner in, not a council member, but a commissioner in to help make a decision or troubleshoot something. And that's due to the oversight of the personnel manual by the commissioners and not the council. And correct me if I'm wrong about that. The commissioners oversee the employee handbook, correct?
To the best of my knowledge,
Yep.
yes.
Okay. So does it make sense that the creation, adjustment, termination of the actual job description come to the commissioners first, then salary appropriation only to the council secondly? So to just, in summary, historically, the entire process of classifying jobs has been filled with inconsistency. In my short tenure, I've been able to produce 3 instances in my department alone. What I'm asking as a department head is that the process be thoroughly reviewed in a swift manner. This is not something that's going to be kicked down the road or needs to be kicked down the road because we only meet once a month or we only meet twice a month. There's some work that's going to have to be done swiftly. And official guidelines be written down and approved as to how we conduct this business. I don't know how many job classification committee meetings I have sat in and everybody's scratching their head and looking around going, well, we used to do this. Now, why did we do that? Put it down in the policy. Should it be in the employee personnel manual? It takes an enormous amount of effort and time to create and update job descriptions if done correctly. And I dare to say that everybody that came to last week's job description spent a good 8 hours minimally, and the auditor probably spent more than that because she went through every one of her job descriptions, whether that person was physically in a seat in her office or not, because it all played together. I spent weeks when I first hired in going through everybody's. So if I may speak for my fellow department heads, we all want to do the best we can do for each of our employees. We are quite aware of the county's financial hurdles and do not make our recommendations for changes without considering those hurdles. We understand it's difficult for us to come to you and say, we're going to lose one of the best employees we've ever had because I can't match the market rate across the street for a similar job description. It's disheartening all the way around. I understand that the county commissioners and the county council members are elected by the public to do a full-time job on a part-time basis. So I would like to take an opportunity to publicly thank you and every other elected official who has a full-time job on a part-time basis, because for those of you who do go above and beyond and make yourselves available outside of the one day a month that you have a meeting, those of us in the department head positions truly do appreciate you, because we feel like you are investing in us and our employees. And so that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Joe?
I'll try and hurry. Okay, I got 3 items this evening. First one Bridge 109 on 200 North west of 125 West. It's number one on the priority to replace. It's actually two pipe, large pipe now, but they consider it a bridge because of the width of the culvert pipes. What I'm asking for is I've received a proposal from E&H Bridge and Grading for a new superstructure, and according to it's based on their accepted annual bid. Let me get the amount. The amount for the new superstructure is $83,032, and it's 42 feet long and 26 foot wide. It'll be a poured concrete deck. And first of all, I need approval to replace the bridge, and second, I need approval for the proposal to purchase the E&H superstructure.
Do you want those now?
I'm not asking for much. You know. I hope to have this bridge in there for under $300,000. That's what I usually shoot for.
I will make the motion to give you permission to replace the structure. Is that what you said you needed? First.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to replace the structure. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Now, do I have a motion to spend money for the new one?
I will
So
make-
moved.
Oh, there you go, second.
I have a motion and a second. Guess I should ask, you do have the money to pay for that,
That's what I
don't
was
you,
just getting
Joe?
ready to say.
It's coming out of MVH 1173 restricted fund.
Okay,
The money's been moved over to another line item.
okay.
Okay.
I have a motion and a second to replace the bridge. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you. Do you have a copy of the proposal? I assume you do, to sign?
I don't.
I do
I didn't
not.
print it off when you sent, he has, yeah, she has one.
I have one on my desk.
The second thing is new tandem dump truck. Orders are being taken for receiving tandem dump trucks in 2024. If we want to get on the list, we have to have an approval and a bid and acceptance before the end of the month. All right, before the end of July, he has to know. So I'm asking today is, number one, can we bid a new tandem truck, and can that bid be due July 26th at 3 o'clock in the auditor's office, and then you guys can open it then that evening at your regular schedule.
Is that our next meeting is we have a meeting that night then? Yes, we do. Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
So you need a motion for us to allow you to go ahead and bid for this truck for next year.
Yes.
Open it.
I checked with the county council to see if they're in agreement with it, and I'll put it in next year's budget, which I have, and they agreed to it. I wanted to get their approval before, because they met. It would, you know, the bid's going to be on the way by the time I would have a chance to talk to them in July. So,
Do I have a motion to approve what Joe's requests are for the new dump truck?
You can't remember what you requested. I will make the motion to approve you doing bids for the dump truck till
Second.
3 o'clock on July 26th to be opened at our meeting that night at 6 o'clock.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
thank you. Next thing is budget for 2024. I forwarded the budget that I'd put together, and the biggest change, I think, is probably moving all the labor to 1176 Motor Vehicle Highway. We had some coming out of LoHUT, but it's now all in 1176. The other thing with labor is we had 9 truck drivers and 5 operators. We changed that a bit. We now have 10 truck drivers and 4 operators. We moved 1 operator to truck driver. My assistant would like to see us go to all truck drivers and pay the operator rate when they actually operate equipment. So, but right now, we're in a position where we can go add 1 truck driver and reduce 1 operator.
On a side note, how's your program working for hiring and training truck drivers?
We're,
CDL.
I think we're one, well, he hires these people and they may stay 2 or 3 days and then they don't show back up.
Really?
Yeah. He was telling me of a case the other day where he had a person come in and said they'd be there, and then he had 1 no-show. He had another one that worked a few days and said they had to be off, and then he called them 2 days in a row, I think it was, saying he couldn't be there because of something, and then the next day he didn't even show. So, yeah, but the labor's positions are filled. So, and there's an opportunity with LTAP to send a person to West Lafayette to get trained to be a trainer. In other words, for CDLs. And so we got to hurry up. I got to talk to Brady tomorrow and see if he still wants to do it. And we need to get on the list because there's 4 openings and it's free. All we have to do is get them up there. So all of it's online except 2 days. And they can be trained to train for CDLs, licenses.
Awesome.
That's a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, very much so.
So we're going to try to take advantage of that, I think. So,
Okay.
and the rest of it's pretty. I've checked the numbers with the way I usually do my numbers, so I've been doing it for years that way. So I'm sure there'll be something that the accountants will catch. There usually is. Is there any questions or?
I think we're good.
All right.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it.
There are no more department heads unless.
Debbie. Debbie has nothing.
Nobody else is here.
Glenn.
Oh, Glenn, yes.
Glenn, do you have anything? Glenn's good. That takes care of that. Okay, next we have quotes. We need to approve one for Piney Engineering for $2,110. Do I have a motion to approve that quote?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0. I have another quote for $1,135 from Piney Engineering for the Youth Opportunity Center. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I second.
Motion's been moved and seconded to approve that quote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0.
This is where it gets confusing.
Yes, this is where we get confusing. I have quote from Resolve Tech for $1,600 to work on an air compressor motor. And I have a quote from Piney Engineering for the same compressor motor. Resolve Tech, $1,600. Piney Engineering is $2,325. Do I have a recommendation?
I'll make the motion to accept the Resolve Tech quote for $1,600 to replace the air compressor motor at the youth center.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept Resolve Tech bid on the air compressor motor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Then I have another quote, the YOC building to install 2 new hot water pumps, one from Resolve Tech and one from Piney. Resolve Tech, this can't be the same.
Yeah, it's 13, there's two, they have two quotes,
Okay.
each for $6,975.
So I have 2 quotes for Piney Engineering for $69.75 each, and one for a total for Resolve Tech for $19,500.
And those are, Piney is is a rebuild, and Resolve Tech is new. So there's a 6,000 roughly, not quite, or yeah, a little more than $6,000 difference between rebuild and new.
So basically, their Piney for rebuilt was what, 12.9 something?
13,950
13,950,
to rebuild it, and it's 19,000.
19.5 for new.
Mhm.
Do I have a recommendation from the board?
I will make a motion to accept the Resolve Tech for new. It makes more sense to pay them more and get new than to, in my personal opinion.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to accept Resolve Tech's bid for 19.5. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0. And I have a third bid for boiler repairs, one from Resolve Tech and one from Piney. And this says time and material not to exceed $6,567 from Piney. And I have one for $5,950 from Resolve Tech. Do I have a recommendation from the board?
I'll make the motion to accept the Resolve Tech quote for $5,950.
I second.
Motion's been made and seconded to accept Resolve Tech's bid. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0.
And I know Jeff's here. Jeff, this afternoon you sent me another quote. I didn't get that in time to get it on this itinerary. Is it a high priority that has to be done quickly?
That is for the air handler that provides the air conditioning to all the offices in the central reception area.
So are you out? It's broken and not working?
It is working very inconsistently. So it does work sometimes. I was down there on Friday and it was not really working.
I do not have that one with me.
Yeah, hang on one second. Can you guys, is it all right, Joel, if I go print that off? Yeah. Okay.
I don't have the Jeopardy music to play. YOC. I guess I could ask for anybody if they wanted to sing or dance real quick, could I? guess we could skip on down and address new business. Was the Justice Center is planning on closing on July 3rd this year on a Monday. I don't believe anybody has any objection to that under new business. I don't know if we really needed to vote on whether the Justice Center is closing. It's just informational, correct?
Yes, it is. We were just notified Friday that they were closing.
So that gets that out of the way. Joe. So we have a quote from Piney Engineering at the Youth Opportunity Center to repair the HVAC for $12,800. Is there any discussion? And if hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve this repair for $12,800. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries 3-0. Anita Shelton.
Okay.
I guess we don't hear from Anita from the Salvation Army Triathlon information. Next up is resolution 2023-06-2810. It's for the resolution for Henry County Commissioners accepting the state public health funds. We had discussed this previously, and this makes it official for us to opt in for the opioid money. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion accepted to accept that resolution. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next,
Steve, that's actually the money to accept supplemental funding.
Supplemental funding from the
Supplemental
state.
Separate from the opioid.
Oh, he
Okay.
said opioid. I'm
I'm
sorry. I
sorry.
didn't even catch that piece. I didn't even hear you say opioid,
I
so
didn't
I
either.
apologize.
Okay.
So I'm going to amend that motion to accept the state public health funding from the state. While we did do it by minute, we have to upload the form to be official.
Because I thought we'd already done it. Okay.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. Again, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next, we have resolution 2023-6-2811. It's support for the Eastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission to be recognized as the district organization serving the Economic Development District, EDD. Whereas the Eastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission, EIRPC, has received approval on its Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, CEDS, as of February 21st, 2023 by the Economic Development Administration. The next steps for EIRPC now as CEDS is completed is to process district organization change for the Economic Development District that is comprised of Fayette, Henry, Randolph, Rush, Union, and Wayne counties. And whereas this process is considered an abbreviated version of the Economic Development District designation, the 6 counties of this region are already designated an EDD. This resolution is one step in completing EDA's regulatory pragmatic requirements need to formally recognize Eastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission as the district organization serving as the Economic Development District. And whereas once this process is complete, Eastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission would be eligible to receive non-competitive funding under the EDA Partnership Planning Program. And now therefore be it resolved, Henry County Board of Commissioners support the entity known as EIRPC to be recognized as a district organization serving the EDD.
And this is really more just to become part of the EDA and get certified, each district has to do a whole host of things, and this is one of them, is recognizing them as the EDD for the region. And so with that, I'll make the motion to approve Resolution 2023-06-2811.
I second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve this resolution. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Next, we have a resolution authorizing the expenditure of revenue abatement shared restricted, received the settlement claims against for the opioid manufacturing. I don't want to know if I want to read all this or not.
He didn't say no.
No, he did not.
You can skip down to the,
Now therefore,
Now therefore, basically, we are agreeing to spend the sum of $100,000 shall be paid from the abatement share of funds received by Henry County for the repair and/or replacement of the roof on the guest house building. Additional expenditures of fund received from the settlement shall be approved by separate resolution. List of expenditures of the abatement shared funds received by Henry County is attached to this resolution, Exhibit A. Do I have a motion?
I will make the motion to approve the spending of $100,000 to the guest house in repair of their roof, as they do provide wraparound services and good services to the community.
I second.
Motion's been made and seconded to adopt this resolution. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Any comments from the public?
You have the thing from the sheriff's department.
Oh,
Oh, yes,
forgot about that.
I did too. That was added late.
That's why you're here, is that what you said?
That's why you're having.
That's true.
Do you want me to talk about that?
I was going to say, do you want to explain the?
Yeah, so this is
the amount?
so in the building of the jail, they have a training room. Or
Multipurpose.
multi-purpose room, and this is the, quote to, finalize all of the equipment and the technology that would be used in that room. I think the total,
Well,
I have the
yeah,
total, I don't know if I have,
Email said it could be up to 100.
up to, yeah, up to
I'll say there was
120,000, because
video-
there's different.
Yeah, I was going to say, video conferencing is 59,308, and video conferencing and controls for the room was 31,607.
And there was something else in there, I can't remember.
I did see it was.
But I
a
think
total
what we
of
can
up to
do is we
120.
can approve them moving forward, and then as they bring each one of the, because they may not be as high or as low, as they bring each one, we can approve payment out of the jail bond that we still have available. So with that, I will make a motion to allow them to go forward with this, to finish that portion of the jail.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to allow them to complete the IT department on this conferencing room, multipurpose room. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Now, do I have anything from the public? Going once, twice. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming.